A woman's job is kind of to adhere to his program and get on what he needs done. We tell women that they're perfect just the way that they are, and that's a lie.
If you want someone that needs you to revolve around their schedule, that's perfectly fine.
I'm all for men treating women nice and, obviously paying for dates, taking them out. Most women simply don't qualify for that.
If it was on the other side and a woman said that she needed to sleep with 20 plus, 50 plus men, whatever.
A lot of women are very entitled and they think, oh, I'm just here. I want you to do X, Y.
So I apologize if this question's been asked before.
Sure.
When you say women deserve less, is that from you or the majority of men, from the world?
I think men need to stop simping on women. I think it's a problem. So when I say women deserve less, what I mean by that is guys need to kind of go into a relationship and make women earn their validation and resources and everything else that comes with being in a relationship.
Both people in a relationship need to earn that respect. They need to earn that validation from the other person. That's part of dating. Part of dating is earning that validation from the other person. Why would you ever want to go into a relationship? I would never want to go into a relationship where I felt like I was the only person trying to seek validation from the other. Why would a woman want to go into a relationship where she was the only person trying to seek validation?
Men needing to show their worth equals them deserving less.
Well, the thing is that a lot of women are very entitled and they think, oh, I'm just here. I want you to do X, Y, Z. And I need guys to basically understand their value and make women earn that validation, because the problem is, thanks to social media and dating apps and everything else, women have an abundance of options.
The thing is, when he says that, he's making men be just the other side of the coin. He's saying that women expect men to do X, Y, and Z as soon as they meet. And, maybe for some women that's true. Definitely. For some women that's going to be true. But now he's making it on the other side of the coin. Now he's making it so, as a man, he wants a woman to perform X, Y, and Z. He's just doing it on the other side. That's not what we want. We don't want a world where men or women are doing that.
I'm all for men treating women nice and, obviously paying for dates, taking them out, committing to them. I'm all for that. But I think that most women simply don't qualify for that, because a lot of women have bad habits. A lot of them are rude, obnoxious, masculine. These are things that guys should be.
The person saying that women have bad habits, so you shouldn't do things for them, is the same person that will tell you that you need to sleep with 50 plus women.
Man, what age should you consider getting married? 35 years old, had slept with at least 50 women, 100K per year.
Whatever plus woman, to actually find someone that is for you. If it was on the other side and a woman said that she needed to sleep with 20 plus, 50 plus men, whatever, he would go crazy. He would be talking about that for weeks. He would bring that up in every conversation.
So what qualities in a woman would make her deserve what you would consider?
Well, I think that's dependent upon the man. I think, depending on where the guy is and what he's looking for, I think a woman's job is kind of to adhere to his program and get on what he needs done. Because every guy is different, right? On what preferences they have, maybe with the way that she looks versus what she provides to him.
And you know what? If you're a man or a woman and you want someone like that, if you want someone that needs you to revolve around their schedule, that's perfectly fine. And that's for you. I think in general, most people, men and women, do not want their lives to revolve around one person. That is ridiculous. That is a ridiculous thing to expect out of anyone.
They're taught, pursue a career, have sex with as many men as you want, be sexually liberated.
Had slept with at least 50 women.
Behave like a man, be masculine, be obnoxious, challenge him. These are things that men are not attracted to, but most men are not honest with what they actually are attracted to, because they get a lot of hate, as you guys can see right now, right? I'm saying these things that a lot of men think, but, this is quite a bit of heckling here. So there's a reason why men don't speak up about this, because if they speak up about it, they're going to be labeled a misogynist, a sexist, an asshole, and a lot.
Okay. The exact things that you're saying women are doing wrong, you're saying women can't do this, but I want to do it. That's exactly what you're saying. Every single attribute that you're giving to these women, you tell others on your podcast daily to do yourself.
They say she shows up with feminism and quietness and a pursuit of societally feminine qualities. Like, if she already comes with all these great qualities, does that mean
so you mean
she
she's not a feminist?
Less?
So you mean she's not a feminist?
She can be a feminist, but also just adhere to more societally feminine roles.
Well, the problem with that is that if she's a feminist, that inherently means that she thinks she's equal to the man, and that's problematic. The more of a feminist she is and the more money she makes and the more status she has, the higher her demands actually go. So, you know, women will sit there and say, oh, I want an equal partner. But when you look at her partner, a lot of times he's actually superior to her. You know, every man is different and looks for certain things. I think the thing is that he's got to kind of come in and understand this is how a lot of modern women are. You know, if she has certain bad habits, you're going to have to deprogram that out and just go from there.
What about your bad habits? Why are you ascribing everything to women? He's talking about this like he himself has no problems. Like, or any man has no problems that they have to deal with or they have to face.
So a man, even if he's not these traditional masculine qualities, should still pursue a woman with all these traditional feminine qualities in order to fulfill his ego?
No.
He already started saying it.
No, I think men need to rise to the occasion. If you want a submissive, traditional female, you need to be the dominant, assertive male, and you adhere to your duties. You can't demand a feminine woman while being a feminine man. It doesn't make sense.
So should I say men?
Okay. I think the only thing nice I'm going to be able to say about this entire thing is that at least he's holding men to some form of standard. So I would assume that he also means that men would have to pay for everything for a woman. That's I guess that's about it. So a man would have to pay for everything for a woman. That's it. I guess he's holding men to some standard, something, I guess.
So women are good at having good standards and men are not, and that's why we say women deserves less?
Well, typically men take whatever they can get. Women wait out for the best option that they can get. Men take, you know, women want the best they can get. Men can take whatever they can get. So I'm trying to get guys to understand their value and only wife out women that are worthy, because a lot aren't.
So in order for a man to find a woman that's worthy, we have to convince all the women that they're not worthy.
No, the girl that he's dating, she needs to prove herself.
Yes, so inherently believe that she is not worthy on her own and must prove herself. Right?
Yes, just like the man must prove himself to become attractive in the first place.
So a man must go into a relationship thinking down on a woman, and she needs to prove herself to him. That's essentially what he's saying. Okay, fair.
I mean, I think both sides of the relationship need to prove themselves.
But here's the difference. We don't tell that enough to women. That's the issue.
I think it's because
we tell women that they're perfect just the way that they are, and that's a lie. We tell men all the time you need to rise to the occasion. We got standards on men, but we don't put standards on women. No matter how rude, crass, obnoxious they are, how fat they are.
There are plenty of standards on women, but that could be for a different video, I guess.
We don't give them any standards.
And I feel like that's mainly because women in society...
We don't tell men love your curves. We tell women that. You know? We don't tell women to do the right thing. We tell do what's right for you. We tell men do the right thing. Women do what's right for you. So we don't really have societal boundaries on females. And if a man does express societal boundaries...
Who's guiding the societal statements? It's men. It's men not supporting men.
Well, that's why I'm here. Tell them the truth.
So let's exclude women and focus on men supporting men.
That's what I'm doing. But for them to understand this stuff, I have to talk about, obviously, this obstacle that's in the way that messes a lot of them up. Because they might go ahead and make money, become successful, but they can't figure out women.
Well, I think a lot of times they can find success without women, and it might even be a faster route.
Success in what regard, though? If they want to have a family, they're going to need a female.
I feel like they should find success before finding the female.
Bro, you gotta get those.
A few moments later.
Faster route.
Success in what regard, though? If they want to have a family, they're going to need a female.
I feel like they should find success before finding the female.
I agree with you on that.
And then they'll find a female that's also successful.
Well, I mean, every guy's different, but men typically don't care about a woman's success.
Okay. I guess maybe if you're talking about hooking up, sure. But if you look in general, people who are married generally marry in the same exact class. Like rich people marry rich people, poor people marry poor people, usually ugly people marry ugly people, pretty people marry pretty people. People tend, obviously there's variations in that, but people tend to marry within the same brackets. And date too, not just marry.
Okay, but successful for you would mean a traditional feminine trait.
Yeah.
So if he
But it
has
seemed to me like you meant to end the way where like academic achievement or monetary because you come.
No,
okay.
well, yeah, I'm sorry. I just meant considering
Men typically don't
your
care about a
version of
woman's-
a woman's success is that.
In general, typically most guys don't care about a woman's ability to create resources.
I mean,
Men don't care about
traditionally, in society.
I mean, in general, like guys don't care about how much money a woman makes or her career.
I would argue that's more of a society evolutionary thing than biological, but
Yeah.
Okay. Overall, I feel like this just really wasn't a productive bait. Myron saying things like the men who disagree with him are just too scared to speak up. It's just ridiculous, and it's conversation ending. It's like literally it terminates the entire conversation. Like there's no productivity that can come after you say something like that. The woman who he was debating in this video, she really let him kind of take control of the conversation. He was really just talking over her a lot. I feel like she didn't really get a lot of points in. All she did was ask questions, but didn't really follow up with any of her questions. Like he would say something crazy, and then she would just go on to ask another question. I understand that maybe she wasn't being as confrontational, but still, it's just you can't just keep on asking questions over and over and over again, because he's just going to rattle off all his points. So he's just going to be able to say everything he wants, and all you're going to be doing is asking questions. Myron also, he's blaming everything on women. I think that's really unproductive for the men that he's trying to help. Blaming everything on the woman and not telling men to fix themselves in any way, saying that you need to find a woman who is X, Y, and Z, and if she's not, kick her to a curb. You need a woman to revolve around you, or you need to kick her to the curb. You're not telling men what they need to do to help better themselves. I feel like if you're supposed to be bettering the lives of men, if you claim that you're an advocate for men, that's what you're supposed to be doing. On top of that, Myron is pushing men just to do all of the bad things that he says women do. He's pushing men to sleep around, saying you need to sleep with 50 women before you can find a soulmate. He's pushing men to be more difficult, quote unquote, like he claims that women are, saying that you need to make men work for you the first time that they meet. You need a woman to prove themselves to you. Like that's ridiculous. You're really blaming everything on the woman, and basically telling a man, if a woman's not going to perfectly fit into this mold that can let you do whatever you want, then you got to kick her to the curb. Honestly, it's not very believable that Myron practices these things in his own personal life too. I highly doubt that any long-term partner that he's been with, he's told them that he's better than them, that he made them bend completely around his schedule so they can be the quote-unquote perfect woman for him. That's ridiculous. I don't think, if he's ever been in a long-term relationship, there's no way that he stayed in one like that. I just don't personally believe it. This as a final thought, if you really want to help men, you need to hold both men and women to a standard. You cannot just hold women to such a high standard and then not hold yourself to a standard. You have to hold yourself to a high standard. That it's required. You have to hold yourself to a high standard. Women also have to be held at a standard, and that standard should be more or less the same. There should be more or less a similar standard for men and women. Obviously, they do different things, but they should be similar. That's it. I feel like anything else is just you're trying to coach men to be more feminine by making them do the things that women do. So that's counterproductive. It's not really doing what I think Myron is setting out to do. Other than that, if you disagreed with anything I said, please let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.